If we don't act.
She made it.
Deep inside the Okavari Wildlife Reserve in Botswana, a story of incredible courage and survival unfolded one fateful day where lives hung by a thread and trust was born between the wild and humanity. It all began with a lion named Taro and his mate Nia. They were not ordinary lions. They were survivors, strong, determined, yet weary. Their journey had taken them across barren savannas in search of food and water, driven by the ever-changing climate that had pushed them to the brink. After months of wandering, their pause finally brought them into Okavari, a sanctuary full of rivers, grasslands, and hidden dangers. But there was one problem. Nia was heavily pregnant and her strength was failing fast. Her body was weak, and as the days passed, she became slower and more vulnerable. Ethan and Amara, two seasoned rangers, first noticed the presence of the lions when they spotted large paw prints near the central watering hole. Ethan, a tracker with years of experience, knew the risks of interfering with wild lions, especially one as powerful as Taro. But Amara, with her keen eyes, noticed Nia's struggles, her belly growing heavier and her movement slower. Something wasn't right. Weeks passed, and the worst fears of the rangers came true. Nia went into labor, but nothing happened. For 2 agonizing days, she lay in the tall grass, her moans barely audible, as she struggled to bring her cubs into the world. Taro, ever protective, circled her, roaring fiercely at anything that dared approach. Without help, both Nia and her unborn cubs were at risk of dying. Ethan and Amara found themselves at a crossroads. They could stand by and watch helplessly as nature took its course, or they could risk their own lives to try.
If we don't act, both she and her cubs could die.
Emergency medical kit, and with trembling hands they drove toward the lions. As they neared the duo, Taro's golden eyes burned into them, his roar so fierce that the air itself seemed to tremble. Yet he did not attack. Amara, with a calmness that contrasted the tension of the moment, knelt beside Nia. The lioness, despite her pain, locked eyes with her, not with fear but with a sense of desperate trust. In that brief moment, Amara injected a small dose of medicine, hoping it would help Nia's body push through the birth. Then they retreated, hearts pounding in their chests, unsure of what would come next. Hours passed in unbearable tension until a sudden cry pierced the air. Nia's cub had been born. The tiny creature let out a sharp cry, as Nia, though
She made it.
The rangers gave the family space, but in their hearts, they named the cub Kira, meaning gift of life.
As the days turned into weeks, the story of Kira's birth spread across the reserve, carried on the winds of the savanna.
Could rewrite fate. The story of Kira's birth spread throughout the reserve, inspiring everyone who heard it. As the days turned into weeks, Ethan and Amara continued their patrols. To their amazement, Taro no longer roared at their vehicle. Instead, he simply watched them pass, while Nia nursed Kira beneath the shade of an acacia tree. Every time the rangers passed, the lions lifted their heads, as if acknowledging an unspoken bond of trust between them. As months went by, Kira grew stronger, chasing butterflies through the grass and mimicking her father's mighty roar. Taro remained a majestic figure, while Nia showed remarkable resilience, both of them carving out a new legacy in Okavari. Ethan and Amara knew they had witnessed something extraordinary, a birth, not just of a cub, but of trust. Trust that transcended species and proved that sometimes bravery could rewrite destiny. Looking back on that day, Ethan and Amara were reminded of a simple truth. Every life matters. In the wild, as in life, sometimes it's a single act of courage that can change the course of fate forever.